What is up, FPG fam? Further here, and welcome back to another Aether Gazer video. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the girl Osiris. I pulled her in my last video. I think she's absolutely fantastic. Now, I know there's some people that skipped her, didn't think she was that great, and are going to be focusing on future characters. That's understandable. There are some great characters that are coming down the road, but I wanted to go ahead and highlight my girl because I've been using her for a couple of hours now. I think I have a pretty decent understanding of her, so I wanted to show you my build on her, show some gameplay, showcase her off a little bit because I think she's really good. I think she's a very strong character, and I just wanted to go ahead and provide that for you. So I do hope you enjoy. Now, keep in mind, disclaimer, I am only level 37. I started the game late. I've been grinding a lot, kind of addicted to the game a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a lot of fun. And so you have to keep that in mind. My build is not going to be the best build that you're going to be able to see, but is the best that I possibly have for my account right now where I'm at. So you just have to keep that in mind. Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. We're going to go ahead and show what I have on her. I have her at level 40 currently, and you see the stats right there. Skills, I have them all maxed out for where I'm at level wise. Access key, once again, not the best, but I have it maxed out. And then for the functor, once again, just the best that I have. Gonna repeat that a lot. Now, her signature functor, I want to really get it, but I've been debating going for it because I kind of want to get a future character, so I've been kind of trying to save my premium currency. But her signature functor is insane. It just allows you to stay in the ult longer, do more damage with the ult if you have her with the skill chain. It's just insane. It's really good. But I think I'm going to save and maybe go for a future character because right now I haven't been having any issues. I've been doing good damage. I've been clearing content. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with what I have for right now. Sigils, I went with the Moon Drifter and the Gale, the recommended one. It's been working out fine. We've been doing increased wind damage. And then the trace mods, that's what Living Soul Osiris is all about, is the trace mods. And so that's going to allow us to do more damage with the skills and then have a small chance to get a trace mod back when you're doing the skills. So I think this one works well. I haven't leveled them up all the way because they are 4 stars and I want to get 5 stars. I've been trying to be really smart with my resources. I want to get 5 stars, replace them, and then level those up. So that's why I only have them at level 10. And then for the Aether code, I went with the yellow side. I think all sides are pretty good. I think they all work out well, but the yellow side for me I think is the most beneficial just because of my playstyle. I want to do the most damage with Living Soul Osiris, and I think the yellow side is what offers that the most. So that's why I went with the yellow side. But once again, either of the sides, whether if you go red or blue, I think are perfectly fine. I think it just really depends on how you're using your Living Soul Osiris and what you're wanting to get out of her. So I went yellow, want to do as much damage as possible. Now, in terms of the team builds, I don't have Shu, and obviously everybody knows Shu is one of the best partners, if not the best, to pair up with Living Soul Osiris because it extends the ultimate damage from my understanding, but not the ultimate damage, the ultimate duration, excuse me. But I don't have Shu. If I had Shu, I would be using Shu, but I don't. What I do have is I have the Innocence Osiris, and I have her at double S, which is nice. And I've been pairing her up for the skill chain ultimate, obviously. And I think Innocence Osiris is actually a really good character in of herself. So she's been putting in work. So these two matched up, I think, are really good. So if you had her, the Innocence, Living Soul, and then Shu, I think that's a great team that you could put together. But I've been substituting Shu with Arctic Abyss Poseidon, and let me tell you, this is a good substitute just because when you start the battle, Poseidon freezes the enemies instantly. That allows you to then jump in with Living Soul Osiris and do maximum damage without having to worry about the enemies moving. And Poseidon continues to freeze enemies, at least the way I have her built. So she continues to freeze them, so you can continue on focusing, getting your ultimate up, and then doing your ult, and then doing as much damage as possible. So I think if you have Arctic Abyss Poseidon, great substitute for either, whichever one you don't have, the Innocence or Shu. I think this is a really good substitute. And then obviously it just depends on what you have on your account. You just have to take a look at it and see what fits best. But those are the teammates that I think are going to be the best for Living Soul Osiris currently. Now, at this time, I did want to go ahead and show off some gameplay and just give you a better understanding of her skills and how to use them. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial stage. Alright, so like I mentioned, I've been using Osiris for a couple of hours now, and I think I have a pretty decent understanding of her kit and how she's used. So she has the basic attacks, obviously, and with the last basic attack, you're going to get one of those trace mods back, which is really good. We have the dodge, which I did early. We still got it though. And then we have the first skill. Now with the first skill, you can tap it and then you can tap it again. The thing is that I believe you should only tap it once to optimize her damage. And the reason being is because when you tap it once, you're going to go ahead and get your trace mods. If you tap it again, you're going to use those trace mods. And I don't think you want to use it right off the bat. So I think you want to tap it once. And then you're going to do your third skill, which we're going to get to here in just a second. That was the second skill. Really flashy, does some good damage. It's good if you're in the middle of a crowd because you can hit multiple enemies. A lot of her attacks allow you to hit multiple enemies. And that's why I like Osiris so much, because she has a bit of AoE. Now the third skill is really nice. It's just a nice swing upwards, does some good damage. Now, like I mentioned, the way I think you should be using her, because you have to really micromanage those trace mods at the bottom. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do her first skill, and then that's going to allow you to go into the third skill. And then from there, you can do the first skill again, or you can do the second skill, and you just kind of rinse and repeat while you're basic attacking the whole time. So the way I like to do it is, let me wait for the cooldown. So I like to do the first skill, basic attack, third skill, hop around, do the second while it's up, and then wait for the cooldown for the other ones, get it back, and then you can do it again. And then you can wait for it to come back, do that, and then you can do the third, and then it's just kind of rinse and repeat, right? And then you're just micromanaging those at the bottom. Now, the ultimate, obviously everybody knows the ultimate is what Living Soul Osiris is all about. The reason why I think she's such a strong character is because of her ultimate, not because it's going to allow you to do more damage. That's, of course, a given. But it's because it essentially makes you invincible, immortal, because while you're in the ultimate, you can't die. So it gives you just more survivability and comfortability using this character, because when you go into the ultimate, you have a different health bar that depletes. Now when it depletes completely, then you go back into your original Osiris. So that's a really cool feature. Once again, it's great for comfortability. Not only that, you're going to be doing more damage like I mentioned. So now you have brand new movesets, which are really, really cool. She has such an awesome ultimate, one of my most favorites in the game. You have the first skill right there, just like with the original. You can do it once, and that's what I recommend, just doing it once. And then you can do the second skill, so that way you have AoE and you're doing damage consistently. And then you can go into the third skill right here, which is what you want to try and pop off the most, because that's what's going to be doing the most damage, is that third skill. So essentially, as soon as you go into the ultimate, you're going to want to do the first skill. That's going to allow you to do the second skill right off the bat. Do the did I say second skill? The third skill. That's going to allow you to do the third skill right off the bat, and then you go right into the second skill, because then you have that consistent damage, and then you'll be able to go right back into the first skill. So let me go ahead and show that off again. So as soon as you pop the ult first, right into that, pop the second right when you're doing the third, and now you're doing maximum damage at this point. And then you can do the first skill again, use it, and then you can try and build up enough to be able to do the third skill again. So that's essentially what I believe is one of the best rotations for Living Soul Osiris when you're in the ult. Now, there's other ways that you can do it. Obviously, when you go into the ult, you can go right into the second skill, pop the first skill, go into the third skill, and that way you can have that consistent damage right off the bat, first and foremost. I mean, I think that's a very viable way, and you can keep that uptime on it. That's something that you can do, but what you really want to focus on is with the third skill, trying to pop that twice. I think that's going to be the most important part. So if you want to do that, as soon as you go into the ult, you can do the third skill, pop the first skill, do the second skill, and then wait for the cooldown. Don't do your first skill again. Wait for the cooldown of the third skill. So you're going to just be attacking this whole time. Third skill, second skill, first skill again. And I think that's another way that you can do a lot of damage also. So it's just really dependent on what you're doing. But I believe those are some of the best ways to use Living Soul Osiris within her ult. Let's go ahead and jump into some real gameplay now. So I'm hopping into one of the past grudges, so that way you can see Poseidon do the freeze right off the bat. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my ult here, just because we might kill the enemies too fast. But I did want to go and showcase that, where you see the freeze right off the bat. So then you can go right into attacking as much as you want, not to have to worry about too much. Do the first skill again, do the third skill again, go ahead and do that, do the third skill again. Now we're just kind of popping off at this point. And what I did also want to mention is that you can animation cancel her basic attacks, which are really nice. You can go ahead and do a skill, and then you can cancel that and go right into your basic attacks, into another skill. And you can make sure that you're being proficient with your dodges. So now we did the ult, and then everybody's dead. So I did want to go ahead and show that freeze off really quickly. But let's go ahead and jump into, like, let's say a boss fight so we can see more damage and more ult. Okay, so we hopped into a reoccurring dream right here against my man Ethan. Looking slick. Alright, let me see if I can get this going. Now, one other thing that I did fail to mention is that when you're in your ult, you do want to try and avoid being hit. I know you're invincible and immortal, and you know, you may be a little lackluster when it comes to your dodging because of that reason, but you really want to avoid being hit because that's going to drain your health even faster and knock you out of the ult even faster, and that's the last thing you want. You want to try and stay in your ult as much as possible, so dodge is going to be important with the Living Soul Osiris when you're in your ult. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and pop the third skill, pop that, pop the ult here, go right into the second. It's just kind of popping off. All right, let's go ahead and get the dodge here. Now, no, that's the one thing that you have to keep in mind with the third skill. You got to make sure you're close. If not, you're going to whiff like I just did right there. So you got to make sure that you're close. All right, let's go ahead and do the ult again. Third skill. Get the dodge. Okay, are we going to be able to get the ult here? We're going to be able to get it here. Yep, let's go right into the ult. Like I mentioned, if you had Shu, you'd be able to stay in this ult longer. And then I think the signature functor allows you to do that as well. Let's do the third skill. And now I was about to do the second and then the first. So that is Living Soul Osiris. Once again, I think she's an incredibly strong character. I understand why people might have skipped her, but in my opinion, she's great. Now, keep in mind, I don't have Tsukuyomi, and I know Tsukuyomi actually, in terms of damage output, does more damage. But I think Living Soul Osiris just brings a lot of nice utility with the ult and being invincible and things of that nature. But that's just me. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. If you have Living Soul Osiris, let me know how you've been enjoying her. Once again, I think her gameplay is incredibly fun. I think she's incredibly strong, and I've been enjoying this character a ton. Anyways, I'm going to get on out of here. Let me know if you want to see more Aether Gazer content, and if you do, let me know what you want to see. I'm going to be pumping them out regardless. Once again, I'm kind of addicted to the game, so a lot of content here on the channel. So if you like Aether Gazer, make sure to sub, join the FBG fam. I would love to have you stick around. I'm going to get on out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all next one. Bye, guys.